So hello everyone, my name is Becky. I'm with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we are doing our command overview. Today is going to be a super fast-paced overview of command. So if you have any questions as we go through, please drop them in the chat and I will do my best to get those answered in real time. However, for the sake of time, I will try to save those questions for the end, but feel free to drop them in the chat as we go through, and if I can get it at the time, I certainly will. I just dropped both our support email and our YouTube link in the chat. Feel free to check those out. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. If you are watching this back on our recording, then you can email us support@scottleroymarketing.com with any questions that you may have. This recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel within 24 hours. So if you go to our YouTube channel, I do just want to point this out. You want to use the videos tab, whether you click here or you click here, either way, it doesn't matter. But it's going to show you the most recent videos up at the top. And you always want to make sure that you are finding those most recent videos, even if you're searching, just because the things are always changing both within command and with the services that we offer at Scott Leroy Marketing. So we just want to make sure you have the most up-to-date information. So for example, I'm going to do a search here just so I can show you for an example. Once we get past the playlist, the first video that pulls up when I search is from 2 years ago, and then 1 year ago, and then 5 months ago. And then we'll have to scroll down a ways before we get to one from 2 weeks ago, which I'm not even seeing it yet. So just make sure that you are double checking the videos tab first. And then if you are searching for a video, just make sure you're trying to find the most recent videos, just because, again, things do always change within command. So it may look a little different, settings may be a little different. So feel free to check that out. So we're going to go ahead and get started on command, which is agent.kw.com. And we are going to log in with our KW login credentials. A couple things to point out here. Your username is not going to be case sensitive, so it does not matter how you enter that in. Your password is case sensitive, and if you are copying and pasting either the username or password from anywhere, you do want to make sure there is not a space before or after, both in the username and password fields. You would just click this icon right here and then make sure it doesn't have any spaces, just because that will cause an error with logging in. It'll give an incorrect password error, and we do see that sometimes. So just wanted to make sure y'all pay attention to that. If you need to reset your password, you can click Forgot Password right here, and it will send a code over to your recovery email that you have on file. And then you will be able to reset the password through there. Your recovery email is generally not going to be a KW email. It should be a personal non-KW email. I will show you how you can change that once you're inside your account. But if you are unable to access your account because you need to reset the password and you're not getting the code, you can either reach out to us or your Market Center staff, and they'll be able to help update that on their end. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and click log in here. And you'll see right here that I am getting a verification code. This is just sent to us an email. Let me grab that real quick. But if you are logging in on a new device, or if you are logging in for the first time, it will send that code over to your email. And you'll want to make sure that you grab it and enter it in. And then we'll be able to access our command. So once we're here, we're just going to kind of go through all of command. This is really just an overview. It's going to be pretty fast paced. And again, I apologize in advance if I talk super fast. There is a lot of information here to cover, and we do have videos, both classes and tip videos on pretty much everything, going into a little further detail on what I'm doing today. So feel free to check those out. Specifically the applets, we have a class for each of them. So you can definitely check those out. And feel free to email us if you have any questions, but we'll go ahead and get started. So first things first is your home page, and yours can look a little different than mine because this is semi-customizable. So if we click this customize button in the top right corner, we'll be able to pick what we show here. So maybe we decide we do want those recent leads and goals to show here. We'll also be able to arrange the widgets however we'd like. So maybe we want tasks up at the top, and then we want our recent leads up at the top. And then we'll just click apply, and we'll see those changes go into effect immediately, and it will change the layout there. So yours can look a little different. Please note that the leads never contacted, recently active, birthdays, and anniversaries will always stay right there. Those can't be edited or moved. So those will always remain right there, but the rest of it can be edited, customized a little bit. So we're going to make our way across the top first of all. So we are currently in command, and the next option is going to be connect. So connect is just basically a resource library for you. So there's a lot of training videos and articles linked in here. So you can go under Learning Home, you'll see things you've already started, some self-study courses, your bookmarks, and it'll have an option for discovering more. So you can feel free to check those out. You can also go over to My Learning, and there you'll be able to see anything that you've bookmarked. You'll be able to click Continue Learning to see anything that maybe you've started watching, you forgot to bookmark, but you want to go find again. So you'll see this one doesn't have a bookmark on it, but we did start that one. And then completed learning is again going to be anything that you have already finished watching and did not bookmark. So you will be able to find those again under your learning. You can also go browse all, and you'll see it all broken down by topic. So we have a lot of different options in here, and these are going to be, some will be videos, some will be articles, and it really depends on what you're looking for. While we're here, I do want to show you how you can find your Market Center logos. So in here, you can either scroll down, or we can just search here and say New Associate. It'll be under the New Associate Essentials right here. And once we pull that up, you'll see your logos and branding right here. Click on that, and it's going to bring us to these brand resources. So you'll be able to find the KW Identity and Style Guide, which is going to give you a breakdown of KW guidelines for your advertising. It also provides the color codes for KW Red and things like that. So if you want to find those, you can definitely go check that out. Then you'll see your ownership statement here, onboarding guide. This is going to be the primary logo collection. So this is going to have all of the Keller Williams primary logos. If you scroll down, you'll see your Market Center logos here. So you just click Get Your Market Center logo, and then it will take you to a Google spreadsheet, and you'll be able to find your Market Center from there. And then scrolling down, you'll also see the Keller Williams logo variations. So this is going to be your primary logos once again, but then it's going to give you different options for those primary logos, including your KW informal logos and linear informal logos. So you have a bunch of options in here. Feel free to check them out. They have them in a bunch of different formats, color combinations. So they'll have like all white, or like this, which is red, gray, and black, and things like that. So feel free to go check those out. I just wanted to show you how you could find those. And then we also have this events tab on the left-hand side. It's going to be our calendar events. So you'll be able to see events available to you, whether it's by Market Center, or by region, or all KW regions, or just KWRI events. So you'll be able to see all of those in here. It'll show you for the Market Centers that you're a part of and the regions you're a part of, you'll be able to see those. You'll also be able to filter by the event type, the price, the event date, and format, and things like that. If you are not seeing anything under the events tab, please don't worry about it. Some market centers don't use this tab for their events. And so it's not necessarily a cause for concern if you're not seeing events in here. You can certainly reach out to your market center staff and ask them if they have an events calendar and where you can find that. And they'll be able to guide you. Every market center is a little different with how they do that. So feel free to check this out. But again, if you're not seeing anything here, it's not necessarily a cause for concern. It could just be how your market center does things. So we'll go back over to our command home. And then the next part you'll see on my screen is going to be Command MC. Most of you likely will not have access to Command MC. This is going to be for your market center staff. And so I'm not actually going to go into that today. But if you are market center staff and you have questions about the Command MC platform, again, you can feel free to reach out to us. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. Then we're going to keep moving along the top. We have KWIQ or Quick, which that's going to be KW's AI bot. So you can log in, or once you're logged in, you'll be able to ask it any questions. It has some prompts here for you, but you can ask questions about your business. You can ask questions about command. So you have those options. That's right at your fingertips if you just need a quick answer, pun intended, I guess. Next is going to be the KW Marketplace. I do see a quick question in the chat. What login is used for first-time users who have never logged into Command yet? So that would have been set up through your when you did your command invite. If you haven't completed a command invite yet, you'll want to reach out to your market center staff, as they'll have to set that up on their end. They'll have to send that over to you on their end. But if you have set that up, you'll just want to go to agent.kw.com, and then you'll enter the username and password that you set up then. Your market center can also help you find your username if needed. So hopefully that helps out. So we're in Marketplace. They're just going to be the little storefront icon here. And then we're going to be under here, and KW built Command. So Command was built by agents for agents. And so they have they wanted to make sure that everything was connectable, could be used all in one place, and that Command could kind of become a one-stop shop for everybody. So that is their goal with Command. And with that being said, they have KW Marketplace, where you can connect things like Twilio, Command email if you need to update your subscription there, some API Nation connections, things like that. So you can go through. Twilio is used for texting. We do see that a lot of agents like to use that, as it connects fairly easily with Command and can be used to send out texts to your database and things like that. And it's fairly cost efficient. So we highly recommend Twilio. It's not a requirement, totally up to you. There is a subscription, but it is fairly affordable, and that is totally up to you. Next, we have the notification bell right here. So we click on that. Clearly, we have a lot of notifications, but you can go through, you'll be able to see any of your notifications through here. You can filter those notifications however you'd like. So maybe you want to look at your opportunities, any notifications there. The notifications you'll see will be generally if you get a lead from your website, if someone replies to one of your emails that you sent out through Command, if you have submitted a commission request on an opportunity, or you've submitted those documents on your opportunity, you'll be able to see if they were approved, denied, or if there were any comments from your market center staff on those. So we do recommend keeping an eye on your notifications, just to make sure you stay up to date on what is going on. After you have marked a notification as read, which you can do either by clicking the view button on the notification, or clicking the three dots right here, and then clicking mark as read. Once that notification has been marked as read, you will have the option to see that for 90 days after it's been marked as read. So you'll be able to find that. We also have the option to mark all of them as read. We can also change our settings up here with this cogwheel in the top right corner. And in there, you'll be able to choose what notifications you receive. So you can break it down. It's broken down by the applet. So if we go to, let's see here. we'll say campaigns, then we'll be able to adjust those settings in here. So maybe we don't want to see the new lead from a paid ad. Actually, that's something you probably do want to see. So we'll say maybe we don't want to see when a campaign was scheduled on our desktop, but we do want to see it on the app. So you can adjust both your desktop and your mobile and mobile push notifications through here. So yeah, so that is how you would do that, and then you would just click save. So then we're going to go back to our command home. And the next thing is going to be our name right here. Sorry about that. So next is going to be this drop-down menu under our name, and it is going to have both our team and our personal account. So if you are on a team, you will see that appear here. If you're not on a team, you will not see a team account right here. You'll just see the one account. So kind of depends on your settings if you're on a team or not. So feel free to take a look at that. The next option we have is My Profile. In My Profile, this is going to have more of your internal profile. So this information right here is really what people will see, both your Market Center staff and referral agents. So there used to be a referral profile within Command. They very recently merged it with My Profile. So you'll be able to edit that in here, and that is what referral partners will find on through the KW referrals platform. So that's the information they'll see that you update in here. You do want to take a look at this right here. It says display my profile on kw.com. If you want people to be able to find you on kw.com or the mobile app, you will want to make sure this is toggled on. So you'll want to say yes. If it is toggled to no, and you want to switch between the two, you can certainly toggle that on or off here. Totally up to you. But again, if you want your profile to show on kw.com and the consumer app, you'll want that toggled to yes. Once you toggle it to yes, please note that any changes will take up to 72 hours to populate, especially to the KW consumer app. So keep that in mind. It can take up to 72 hours. So especially with the apps, it can be a little slower to translate over there. So just something you'll want to know. Moving down, you have your About Me information. So you can click Edit, and you can adjust your name, your profile photo, biography, language, service areas, and all of that through here. So you can go down. You'll also see your real estate license number here. If you are not seeing your real estate license number here, or the date is incorrect, you'll want to reach out to your Market Center staff, as they need to add that on their end and would need to edit it on their end. So reach out to them if that information is missing or incorrect, and they can get that updated for you. You'll also see contact information, and again, that's what referral partners will see in the referrals applet in Command. Next, we have My KW on the left-hand side. So this is going to be your internal information. So this is what is called your profile of record. And it's going to have that internal system information. So it will have your KW UID, your KW email right here. So you can click here to go manage the settings on there, request an alias, things like that. It'll have your KW start date. Here you can adjust your username or your password, or your recovery email. So again, this is where that code goes when we are resetting a password, or when we're logging in for the first time and it's asking for a verification code. It's going to go to whatever email is right here on your profile. So again, if you do not have access to that email, you'll want to make sure it's updated. And if you cannot access your account because it's the wrong email, again, your Market Center staff can help update that on their end. And they can go in and update it for you. So keep that in mind. Moving down, you'll have your personal information. I do want to point out this KW Communications email. This is going to be another important email for you to keep an eye on. Make sure it's one you have access to. Especially if you are exporting your contacts from Command, which we'll cover in a minute. it'll send a link to this email right here. So you just want to keep an eye on this, make sure it's an email that you have access to. And then you'll have other information throughout here that you'll be able to update. Moving further down on the left-hand side, you'll see My Affiliations. So if you see MLS listings, that means that you have an MLS ID that's been added to your command, which you do want to have that MLS ID in there. If you're not seeing that, that's another thing that your staff can update on their end. And then also under My Affiliations, you'll see any market centers that you are a part of. So most of you will likely only have one. Some of you may have one or two, or even three, but generally you won't see as many as we have in here. But if you click on one, you will see your role in that market center. If it says administrative staff and you are an agent, it generally just means that your license number has not been added and you haven't been activated as an agent, and your market center staff can do that on their end as well. So you can definitely take a look at that there. If you do have an agent role, this is where you will find your cap status, and you'll find where you are, how close you are to capping, your cap date, and things like that. So that's where you'd go to find that. Now that we've covered my profile, we'll go out a little bit. Back to the drop-down menu under our name. Next, we'll see settings. And under here, this is where you can connect a lot of different applets. So you can connect your DocuSign and dot loop. We do find that most market centers are currently using DocuSign and not dot loop, so you will likely see DocuSign if you're not seeing dot loop connected and your market center doesn't use dot loop. No need to worry about that. You can always feel free to reach out to us via email, support@scottleroymarketing.com. If you're not seeing those connected and you need help connecting them, that is something that we are certainly able to help out with. Excuse me. Next, you'll see the connections for your social media. So you'll be able to see those for any social media campaigns, whether it's post scheduling, and then the ads manager was recently moved. But you will want to make sure that those accounts are connected. Facebook and Instagram do currently have to be business profiles. Twitter does not have to be business at the moment. Moving down, you'll see your Google Calendar and a Gmail, and you can connect those right now. Right here. So connecting your Gmail specifically is going to help sync those email interactions with your database. So if you email a contact that's in your command database from your Gmail and you have it connected right here, you will see that show up in their contact timeline, just so you have a better idea of everything that's happening with that contact. Scrolling down, you'll see the email connections right here. So your command email, you have up to 5,000 free emails per month. If you need to manage that, you need to manage your subscription. That's going to take you to the marketplace where we were a few minutes ago. But you'll be able to increase that limit if you'd like. You can also change the sender name and the reply to email through here. You can also connect your MailChimp and Twilio through here if you would like to do that as well. Going through the general settings, we have our default account. So if we are on a team, here's where we'll be able to switch which account is our default. Next, we have the notification preferences, which we already looked at when we clicked that notification bell and clicked the settings right here. So those bring us to this exact same place. Under command settings, this is where you will be able to find contact settings, including your contact archive, contact tags, lead management, custom fields, and things like that. And you'll be able to see different settings for each of these applets. So opportunities, reporting, campaigns. There's some settings through there that you're feel free to look at. Under Connect settings, you will currently see the marketing profile. However, that was recently moved to the website's applet, and we will circle back to that at the end when we get to the website's applet. So you can click here to go to the marketing profile. I will show you the other way to get there. See a question, missed the tab selection for this one. What tab is this on? You'll just go to the drop-down menu under your name, and then you'll click Settings, and that's where we're at. I currently just moved down to Connect. The Applications is where we were a second ago to see all those connected, but that will pull up automatically when you go to your settings. Global settings, you'll be able to see languages and contacts. Again, Command MC is for your Market Center staff. So you may actually see this. However, you do not have to worry about that. Generally, that section won't apply to you. So we're going to go back to our command home. We're almost across the top. Next, we have command training, and that's going to take us to Connect. So you can find, again, a bunch of different training videos and articles through there. Next, we have this question mark in the top right corner, and you have guided tours. So they have some videos that you can go through and see some different things more in depth within Command. KW University, that's going to bring you to answers.kw.com, which has articles for pretty much everything you can do through Command. So they have it broken down, so you can feel free to go look at that. Chat with support. So this is going to bring you to a live chat with KWRI support. We generally recommend this when it comes to especially email things, things with your KW email, because it's going to be a faster resolution through here. But otherwise, you can always submit a ticket, or you can also email us if you have problems or running into snags, so we can definitely see how we can help out. And then last but not least on this, we have the post an idea section. So this is going to bring us to ideas.kw.com. Again, Command was built by agents for agents. With that said, Command isn't a perfect platform, and they're always looking for ideas on features and things that can help you as the agents. So they are always looking for ideas. You can submit an idea, you can search for ideas and vote on them, and they will review all of the ideas that are submitted. So it is a great place to have your voice heard when it comes to ideas for Command. So now that we've moved our way across the top, we're going to move our way down the left-hand side. So this is what would be referred to as the applets menu, because these are going to be all of your different applets. Again, I know this is a super fast-paced class. We do have training classes on each of these applets through here. So you can feel free to check those out. We have recordings on our YouTube channel, and you can go find those if you want more in-depth. But we are going to go over all of them. If you click the red square with the white KW in the top left corner, it is going to expand this menu so that you'll be able to see the names of each of the applets. You're also able to see them if you hover over each of the applets individually. So the first place we're going to take a stop is going to be the contacts applet. And a couple things I want to show you in here. This is going to be your database where you can find your contacts. You'll be able to filter your contacts. There's a bunch of filter options. Highly recommend playing around with the filters. Take a look at what's helpful for you. It's one of my favorite things about Command is they have options to filter for pretty much everything. You can filter by tags, you can filter by the contact type, lead source, when, how recently they were active, their anniversary, their address. You can filter that. There's even advanced filtering where you can say, for example, where they include this tag, and you know what, we'll go ahead and we'll say, and you can also say where the tag excludes any that has, we'll see. We'll just go with one of these. So if you want all of the contacts that have this tag right here, but you don't want any that include this, you can do that and it will adjust those so that you will only show the contacts with that. There's also smart views. So a smart view is going to save the changes you've made to that view. You would just click Save Changes, or if you don't already have a smart view created, you'll see Create Smart View here. But you'll be able to toggle through all of these. So if you want to switch to all contacts or just a specific smart view, you're able to do that. You can click these three dots, and this is where you will check for duplicates or export those contacts. So again, we were just talking about exporting contacts, and it will be sent to your KW Communications email. So when you click all of these, it's going to send a link over to your KW Communications email, and you will have 24 hours to click on the link and it will download the file for you. You can also import contacts here. You'll want to download this template and have your database align with this template, just because the import can be a little finicky when it comes to column mapping and things like that. But if you do want to send us your template or your database file, we can help import that for you, reformat it to help save you the hassle. So if you want help with that, feel free to reach out to us. Again, the email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. Next, we have the option to create a contact. So we're going to go through and I'll walk you through this one. So you'll want to enter the contact's name. I'm running out of fake names that I can come up with. I think I already have that. We'll just do that. So we'll go ahead and then you can add a relationship with another contact if you'd like. You can enter an email. Primary phone number if you'd like. You can select whether the lead came from somewhere else, or you can select from contacts. Go down and you can tag them. There we go. And we will you can add as many tags as you like. There's currently not a limit on how many tags you can add. Additional contact information, you can enter those in here. So additional emails, phone numbers, you need to enter their primary address, social media links. The About section will have their name, a description, their birthday, home anniversary, relationship, company name. And then there's also the option for custom fields. So you can create custom fields. You can create as many as you'd like. So you can go through and maybe, for example, I think we already have, let's see here. So we'll say add custom field. I'm just going to grab one of the ones we already have created. So we'll say favorite candy. Maybe, for example, you are putting together a closing gift, and you'll want to collect some information about your contacts just to make sure that you know them and can give them a gift that's personal to them. So maybe you want to put their favorite candy in there, so you can just put that. You can enter that in there. You can add as many custom fields as you'd like. You can create a new custom field. We do have a tip video on that. So we'll just say create. And that will bring you to the contact card. In here you can edit the contact. You can click these three dots. You can add them to a smart plan, change the account, or archive. I do see a question about how do you delete a contact. You'll need to archive the contact, and then you'll want to go over to your contact archive and delete the contact from there. If I have time at the very end, I can certainly walk you through that a little more closely, but I will save that part for the end. But you can go through, you can see the timeline for the contact. You can see any opportunities that they have been added to, smart plans, tasks that have been assigned for that contact, any notes you have, or saved searches that they are set up on. So you have a bunch of options in there. We go back to our contacts. We can also select multiple contacts and have a hidden bulk action menu appear. So we can tag all of them in bulk, add them all to a smart plan, add a note to each of them, send them one-off emails, archive all the contacts. If you click more options, you'll also have some more options you can do through there. So let's see here. Next, we're going to go to the tasks applet. And the tasks applet is going to be basically a to-do list for you. And you can have it created. You can add individual tasks. You can have them created by either smart plans or opportunities. But then you can go through and you'll be able to see a breakdown of everything you need to do. You can set due dates and then have it filtered by whether they're past due, due today, due in the next 7 days, no due date, things like that. So we again have some more filter options in here. So you can filter by all of them, again, the date, and a bunch of things like that. So you'll be able to go through. Once it's been completed, you can check right next to it, and that'll pop up a hidden action menu if you need to reschedule, change the priority, or archive that task. But you can also click this check mark right here, or the 3 dots if you need to edit it, reschedule, add a note, things like that. So we have options. We can do all of that in bulk as well. You can also view your completed tasks right here and your archived tasks here. So if you've marked it as completed or archived it unintentionally, you can definitely go clear those if you'd like. Next, we have smart plans. Smart plans are what we call a set it and forget it type plan. So you can go in and you can add contacts to these. It can send them emails automatically. If you have Twilio connected, it can send them texts automatically. If you have, you can also have it, create a task for you. So this is really a good plan for you if you want to add your contact to it. You can create a new one. We do have a tip video that walks you through creating custom smart plans. You can also go over to the library here, and you'll see a bunch of options that people have created and published for you to use. So there's some featured ones in here, but then there's also these Keller Williams plans. Highly recommend checking these out. If you do want a birthday or a home anniversary plan where it sends the email on their actual home anniversary or birthday that you have in the contact, please use the Keller Williams plans because they are the only ones that are currently programmed to properly work with those due dates. And so some of the other ones don't necessarily work, and we don't want to send everyone an email, a happy birthday email that's not actually on their birthday. So highly recommend checking out the Keller Williams versions of those, just because those will actually work out for you with those dates. You can also see some top rated ones, what's new. We can search by the smart plan name or the author name. We do have some smart plans that we've created. We create a newsletter each month, which you can feel free to email us and we can get that added for you. Totally up to you. But yeah, so back to my smart plans. You can go look at the steps for each of those, and it'll be broken down for you. You can see how many contacts are on that smart plan. If you click the eyeball, you'll be able to see who is on that smart plan. You'll be able to see the created by date, the duration, the number of total touches. And that's based off the tasks on that smart plan. Next, we have the referrals applet. Give it a second to load. Referrals applet is great for finding referral partners that are within KW. So if you go to your dashboard, it's going to have your overview, pending invites, referrals received and sent. And you'll be able to see your referral network here. My referrals is going to show you any referrals that you currently have sent or received pending closing. Under the map, so this is super cool. You'll be able to view agents by production. So if we just zoom in on an area, usually I pick a random area that doesn't have agents. So I'm trying to find one that does. Go around Dallas. Maybe I have to zoom in a little more. I found too many agents, so we're just going to keep zooming in. Right, so there you'll see all the agents. This is going to be sorted by production, so you're only going, well, this is sorted randomly, but they're going to appear by production. So you'll only see agents that have had production in the past 12 months appear right here. So if you're looking for it broken down by all agents, no matter their production, you would want to go to market centers, and then you'll find a market center. And then this will have all of those agents at that market center. I'm a little carried away with that Zoom here. Next, you have your network. You'll be able to see all of the agents in your network. And then the referral patterns map. So this is super cool. It's going to show you where people are moving from and where they're moving to, as you have your center point right here. So you can change the center point if you'd like. So currently, this is showing the sent referrals. So currently, 19% of referrals sent through command are going from Austin, Texas to Austin, Texas, then Austin to Houston, San Antonio. So this will give you a better idea of where you might need to find some referral partners. So you can also go with received, and this is where they're coming from when they come to Austin, and you'll be able to see those broken down through there. Again, that's just really helpful for finding where you want to have those referral partners. For example, maybe we want to find some referral partners in Arizona because we're seeing a bunch of them right here. So it is whatever you want to use it for, but you're able to view those through there. You'll also see my network. It's going to have all of those agents that are in your network. So yeah. So next we have the opportunities applet. The opportunities applet is going to be our transactions. So from start to finish, you'll want to have your different opportunities in here. You'll create the opportunity. It's going to be your transaction. So it's where you'll upload documents for approval from your market center, where you'll submit your offers and commission requests to get paid out by your market center. So this is where you will put all of the information in order to get paid. So you'll see any opportunities that you have in each of these phases broken down. So it's broken down by listings, buyers, and leases, and you'll be able to track those as they go through. I do want to point out this closed part right here. It does reset every month within the first couple days of the month, once your market center has completed their month-end close or transmittal. So that will reset because that is showing what you have in your pipeline for this month. So you can scroll down and take a look at those if you'd like. Next, we have campaigns. And under here, we're going to see our dashboard, which is just going to have some links for getting started and some training videos. Next, you have paid ads. So you can connect your social media, your Facebook and your Instagram to run paid ads through command. Next, you have the email campaigns. So if you want to send out an email, you can do that through here. You can create a campaign, send it out via command mail. Next, you have direct mail, and this is where you can send out postcards as mailers. You can target neighborhoods, you can target your database. It's totally up to you. And then we also have social post campaigns, which is going to be different than our paid ad campaigns. This is just to schedule some posts to get posted on your social media platforms. So that's going to be different than the paid ads. You can take a look at that. Next, we have the reporting applet. So you'll see your dashboard. It's going to have kind of an overview of your database to start off with. So it'll have your database overview, database help, and you'll get an idea of what maybe you need to add. So you can see 1% of our contacts and 10% have home anniversaries and birthdays. So maybe we need to start going through and adding those to our contacts. So it just kind of gives you a better idea of what your database is looking like. You'll have your database activity score. This is a demo account, so hopefully yours would look a little better than this, because it's currently showing we have no people reached out to in the past 91 days. So you'll want to keep an eye on that, as it will show what percentage of your database has been reached out to through command. Next, you have reports, which you can show your opportunity reports, database report, goals report, and then again, your opportunities report. Here you'll be able to see the closed. That's going to show you the amount that's actually going to be year to date. You can also change that to month to date or last month. But if you're looking for that closed number, instead of on the opportunities applet, you can see it here. And you'll be able to see it both for buyers and listings through there. You'll have your goals, which you can set your new goals each year. And you can go to your goal settings, get started, and set up those goals. Lead routing, if you're on a team, you'll be able to see those statistics there. You'll be able to see your email metrics through here and text and call metrics if you have your Twilio connected. Next, we have the Designs applet, which is how you're going to be able to import designs or create designs that you can add to social media campaigns. You can create print marketing, social media posts, email campaigns. So you have a bunch of options for creating designs through there. Definitely a great option to check out. Next, we have listings. And listings are going to show you any Keller exclusive listings. If you have your MLS synced, you should see your listings through here as well. So you can create a new listing if you want it to be exclusive to Keller Williams. Only people at your market center can view it. Only you can view it, things like that. So you're definitely able to go there if maybe it's an off-the-market listing, things like that. So you can do that. And next we have the websites applet. So here you'll be able to go and edit your website however you would like. So you can go to manage website. And through here you'll see a preview of your website. You'll be able to add blog posts quickly through here. Design Studio, you can adjust the font and the color scheme of your website. If you go to expert mode, this is going to be your website editor. And it'll take just a second to load. But you'll be able to go through and add new pages, create blog posts, custom pages, landing pages, a bunch of different things through there. I wish I had more time to get into those today, but I don't. You can also launch your website directly here if you want to preview it, or you can copy that URL directly right here. If you go to settings, this is going to be your new marketing profile. So again, they recently moved it from the settings within your command to over to the website's applet. So your marketing profile is going to be the information that shows on your website and on your campaigns. So email campaigns, social campaigns, things like that. This is going to be where that information is pulling from. So anything with an asterisk is going to be a required field. Phone numbers, email addresses, market center information. You can add your photo in here. We do recommend you follow this size 360 by 360 pixels, especially because it will crop your headshot funny or stretch it funny. It kind of depends, but if it's not 360 by 360 pixels, it can stretch funny, cut off your head, which obviously defeats the whole purpose of having a headshot. So you'll want to make sure that you have that uploaded and it is matching the recommended size. Your team logo, not a required field. We do recommend it, especially when you are sending out email campaigns, because not having that image will cause there to be a broken image on your campaign. But it is not a required field, so if you don't have a logo, you don't have to worry about that. You would click save on each page after you made changes. Your details, it'll have your name, last name, license number. Again, the license number is not a required field. However, we do strongly recommend it. It can cause some errors with your email campaigns, once again, if you do not have a license number here. So you want to make sure that's added in here. And then you can go through and add all this information. Biography is required. Your preferences, this is going to be some website preferences. So if you want your Keller home loans, Keller covered, or neighborhoods displayed on your agent site, you can turn that on or off. Service areas, you can set those up through here. It'll probably take a few minutes to load, so I'm going to keep moving. Legal footer and compliance. So if you are in an area that requires a specific that has some specific compliance guidelines, you can add links or text or images to the legal footer to have that covered through there. If you're not sure if you have requirements in your area, that is something you would want to reach out to your market center staff for guidance on, because they are going to be the best people to give you guidance on that, both on the state and local guidelines for wherever you are. Social media, you can add those links in here. You do want to make sure that it is the full URL, including the facebook.com or whatever website it is, just to make sure that it will actually hyperlink on your website. You don't want it to just be your username or handle or whatever on there. Next, your referral links. This is where you will find your consumer app URL. You can copy it directly here. Your team referral links, you'll see that here if you are on a team, that'll be branded to your team with your information on it. Forced registration. If you do have your website set up and you decide you want people to who are viewing your site to be restricted to the number of properties they can view before they are required to sign in or register on your website, you can set those here. So unrestricted, they'll be able to view as many properties as they'd like and won't be asked to register. 10 properties, they can view 10 before they're asked to register, and so on. Next, you have your subdomain, so you can set that up here, or you can make any changes or confirm it through here as well. If you want to deactivate your site, you can do that here. We highly recommend that you be absolutely certain you want to deactivate your site before you do so, because once you do that, any of the changes that you've already made to your site will be cleared, and you will not be able to restore your site exactly as it was without going through and adding all those elements individually once again. So you want to be extra careful when you are looking at that deactivate site button. So that wraps up what I have today. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. But if you are not sticking around for questions, thank you for joining me. I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat and I will get those answered.